What if the future you've been chasing has never been hiding in the distance, but has been standing right beside you, waiting for the moment you finally learn how to see it? It may sound strange, even impossible, but stay with me, because what you're about to hear can compress years of effort into days of clarity. Right now, as you watch this, infinite versions of you already exist. Countless selves spread across a spectrum of possibility. And among them is one version who is already living the life you keep dreaming about. That self is not luckier. That self didn't grind harder than you. The only difference is alignment, tuning into the frequency that matches the life they are experiencing. This isn't fantasy. This isn't wishful thinking. This is physics, quantum mechanics. The classical world you learned in school tells you that matter is fixed, that you must push, pull, and struggle against a solid reality to make anything move. But in the quantum world, particles play by different rules. They don't sit in one place doing one thing. They exist in superposition, a shimmering state of many possibilities happening at once. Think of it like standing before an infinite library. Each book on the shelves contains a different storyline of your life. Some tell the tale of constant struggle, others describe safety, but stagnation. And hidden somewhere among those books is the story of you thriving, abundant, peaceful, deeply fulfilled. The only thing that determines which book you pull off the shelf is the frequency of your consciousness. Now, how do you change the story? Not through effort alone, not by repeating words with no feeling, but by aligning your inner state with the chapter you wish to live. Because the quantum field doesn't create from how badly you want something. It creates from what you are broadcasting in this moment. It mirrors not your begging, but your being. Science has already shown us this truth. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles of light behave as waves, a field of probability, until someone observes them. The moment attention is placed, the wave collapses into a single form. The unseen becomes tangible simply because awareness touched it. Reality does the same with you. The universe stays fluid, open, undefined, until you observe it with conviction, until you infuse it with meaning, emotion, and the resonance of belief. That is when potential collapses into experience, not because you forced it into existence, but because you tuned into it with clarity. And this is where most people get lost. They exhaust themselves with action while still vibrating in doubt, fear, or lack. It's like planting seeds in dry soil and wondering why nothing grows. Or like standing at a piano, pounding the keys of the wrong song, while insisting that the melody you want should appear. The music exists, the soil is fertile, but you must bring the right conditions for it to bloom. The quantum field, the invisible fabric of reality described by physicists, is not local, not physical. It is vibrational. It is everywhere at once. And most importantly, it doesn't bend to your demands. It resonates with your essence. So if your inner state hums with, "I don't have it yet," the field simply reflects back a mirror of absence. But if you shift, even subtly, into, "I am already the one who holds it," then everything begins to reorganize. And this reorganization is not small. Circumstances shift, people appear, coincidences multiply. Doors you couldn't have imagined begin to open. The life that once felt unreachable starts collapsing into your present moment. It isn't magic, it isn't luck, it is resonance. The song you wish to hear has always been playing, but only when you tune your being to the right frequency can you finally listen. And here lies the truth most people never realize. You don't create your future by grinding harder. You create it by aligning deeper. And if you've ever wondered why life feels stuck, why no matter how much you push, things don't seem to shift, it isn't because you're lazy, unworthy, or broken. It's because your awareness is tuned to a reality that doesn't hold your dream. Without realizing it, every thought, every reaction, every feeling has been affirming that version of life. But here's the grace. The field is always listening. More than that, it is always reflecting, which means at any moment, you can choose to become the observer that changes the broadcast. So the real question isn't, how do I force this dream into existence? The question is, how do I step into the version of me for whom this dream has already unfolded? Over the next moments, we'll break down how your focus, your sense of self, and the patterns of your subconscious weave directly into the fabric of the quantum field, and how to bend that fabric in less than a month. Think about it. Have you noticed how the more you worry about something, the more it seems to show up? How when you obsess over a problem, it echoes back at you through conversations, headlines, random posts on social media, even in the words of strangers. It feels almost too coincidental, but it isn't cruelty. It's physics at play. Here's what most people never see. You're not simply watching reality, you're sculpting it. Every time you pour focus into something, especially when that focus is wrapped in strong emotion, you are collapsing a wave of possibility into a solid lived outcome. That's the heart of the observer effect. And this isn't abstract philosophy. It's been proven in laboratories for decades. Go back to the double slit experiment. Scientists expected electrons or photons to behave like tiny bullets, passing cleanly through one slit or the other. But left unobserved, they rippled like waves, creating interference patterns that revealed multiple possibilities playing out at once. The moment attention was applied, the wave collapsed, the particle chose, and the outcome solidified. Now imagine this on the scale of your own life. What if your thoughts, your feelings, your daily awareness act like that observer? What if, moment by moment, you're shaping probability into form, not with instruments in a lab, but with the quiet power of your own energy? Because that's exactly what is happening. When you dwell on lack, even while trying to fix it, you're focusing on a version of life defined by absence. And the field, with perfect precision, mirrors it back. This is why desiring something too intensely often seems to push it away. Beneath the wanting, the deeper signal being sent is, I do not have this now. And the field simply agrees. Let's ground this in something tangible. Consider money. If your mind constantly whispers, I need more, then the reality you're observing is one of insufficiency. Your attention is fused with lack. The mirror of the field doesn't punish, it simply reflects. The same with love. You long for connection, but if your focus is drenched in loneliness, you are not observing love. You are magnifying absence. The quantum field does not play favorites. It does not interpret or moralize. It just reflects the vibration it receives. This is why, across centuries and cultures, mystics, saints, philosophers, and now scientists have echoed the same truth in different tongues. What you focus on multiplies. But here is the nuance that changes everything. It's not just focus. It's focus charged with emotion. The universe does not respond to dry, mechanical thoughts. It responds to the textures of feeling, to the flavor of conviction, to the emotional resonance you carry throughout your day. You can repeat, I am abundant, 1,000 times. But if your chest is still tight with anxiety, if your body hums with fear, that is the true signal being broadcast. And this is where so many people feel let down. They think manifestation has failed them. But manifestation is never off. It is always working, just not in the way they expected. The field isn't broken. It is faithfully mirroring their dominant state. So how do you change the reflection? Not by demanding the mirror show you something different, but by shifting the one who is standing in front of it, by altering the lens through which you see yourself in the world. That begins with awareness, becoming conscious of where your attention lands again and again. Do you keep scanning for what's missing? Or do you cultivate gratitude for what's already here? Do you replay worst-case scenarios in your mind like old tapes? Or do you pause and imagine, gently, consistently, what it feels like to already be on the other side of the breakthrough? Because that feeling, that subtle shift of being, is the very language the field understands. Because here's the secret most people overlook. The quantum field is not bound by calendars or clocks. It doesn't measure worth by how many hours you grind. It responds to resonance, and resonance begins with observation. What you look at isn't simply a snapshot of reality, it is a projection of your state of being. And what you project, you inevitably end up living. In the next few minutes, we're going to dismantle one of the biggest myths in modern culture. That effort is the ultimate key to success. You'll see why frequency, not force, is the true architect of reality. You'll discover why working harder isn't always working smarter, and how shifting from strain to flow creates results that appear faster, cleaner, and with less resistance. And if you've ever felt like you've done everything right yet still find yourself stuck, this shift may change everything for you. If effort alone could guarantee success, then the most exhausted people on the planet would also be the most fulfilled. But look around. How many people do you know who are burning out, who tick every box, who never stop moving, yet remain trapped in cycles of lack, frustration, and disconnection? This isn't about discipline, intelligence, or worthiness. The missing piece is frequency. In the quantum model, manifestation does not come from pushing against life. It comes from tuning yourself to the vibration of the reality you desire before it ever shows up. Let's be clear, action is not the enemy, but action without alignment is like rowing upstream. You may be moving, but you're exhausting yourself only to stay in place. Now pause and ask yourself, what does it feel like when you're forcing things? When every step feels heavy? When you're grinding just to survive or be seen? There's tension in the air. There's resistance in your body. And beneath it all, there's a silent signal whispering, it's not here yet, and maybe it never will be. That is the signal the field amplifies. Not the surface of your actions, but the vibration underneath them. This is why frequency always wins. And here's the nuance. Frequency is not about faking positivity or plastering over pain with affirmations. It's about coherence, the alignment of what you think, what you feel, and what you expect. When those three are in harmony, you become magnetic. You stop chasing, you begin attracting. You stop hustling, you start harmonizing. There's a study from the HeartMath Institute that revealed something remarkable. The human heart generates an electromagnetic field thousands of times more powerful than the brain. And when the heart and mind sync together, when your emotions and thoughts are aligned, your entire field shifts. You broadcast coherence, clarity, and strength, and the quantum field mirrors it back. Picture two people launching the same business. The first is driven by fear. They take massive action every day, but inside their thoughts are filled with panic. What if I fail? What if no one buys? I need this to work. Their actions scream survival, and the field reflects that vibration. The second person takes fewer steps, but before they act, they tune into their vision. They meditate, they visualize, they embody the version of themselves who already succeeded. So when they act, their actions are clean, inspired, and aligned. And the results arrive with greater ease. Not because they worked harder, but because they worked from resonance. This is the essence of quantum manifestation. It's not about doing more, it's about being more aligned. But here's the compassionate truth. Your current frequency is not your fault. It's shaped by old conditioning, by subconscious beliefs, by wounds you've carried, by cultural programs that taught you to push harder instead of tuning deeper. But the moment you become aware of this, you regain your power to shift it. And when you shift it, the field shifts with you. So how do you begin? Not by giant leaps, but by subtle shifts. Frequency is not a goal you achieve once. It's a state you cultivate moment by moment. Start by asking yourself, what am I feeling right now? Does this feeling match the life I want to create? If not, what is one thing I can shift? A breath, a thought, a posture, an environment that pulls me closer to that version of myself. Even a 1% change in frequency begins to realign the entire field. Think of it like tuning an instrument. You don't have to play the entire song perfectly in one attempt. You just need to keep adjusting, one note at a time, until the sound resonates clearly. The same is true for your reality. Each shift in thought, in feeling, in action is a turn of the dial toward the frequency of the life you prefer. And the more consistent your tuning becomes, the faster reality begins to sing in harmony with you. And when you begin to align, something profound happens. Life starts to unfold differently. Opportunities appear without struggle. Ideas arrive like whispers carried on the wind. Things you once thought required years of effort begin to emerge with surprising ease. This is not magic, it is resonance. And resonance is not optional, it is a law. The greatest misunderstanding about manifestation is that it comes through effort. The truth is far deeper. It comes through identity. Because you don't receive what you merely want. You receive what you already are. And when your frequency matches the reality of your future, that future is no longer distant. It collapses into the present. In the next moments, we'll peel back the curtain on what is truly broadcasting your frequency every single day. It isn't your conscious goals, your vision boards, or even the affirmations you repeat in the mirror. It's your subconscious. That hidden layer of mind is responsible for 95% of the reality you create, while your conscious choices account for only 5%. Let that truth sink in. You can repeat, "I am abundant," 100 times a day, but if beneath the surface your subconscious is still echoing fear, scarcity, or unworthiness, then that is the vibration the field responds to. Not your words, not your intentions, but the signal that hums beneath them. Think of the subconscious as a projector hidden in the back of the theater. You don't see it directly, yet everything you experience on the screen of your life is coming from there. And here's the twist. Most of its programs were installed before you were 8 years old. Early experiences, repeated messages, even moments you don't consciously recall, live on as patterns that quietly shape what you expect, what you believe, and what you attract. So if you've ever felt like you're doing the work, thinking positive, repeating affirmations, keeping a vision board, but still nothing shifts, this is why. It's not that you're broken. It's that you're tuned to a station you didn't even realize you were broadcasting from. The good news? The signal can be rewritten. The subconscious is not a locked vault, it is a sponge. It learns through repetition, through emotional intensity, through focused attention. This is why tools like meditation, visualization, hypnotherapy, and emotional reconditioning aren't just spiritual trends. They are practical technologies for reshaping your frequency and opening new timelines. Let's start with one of the simplest and most powerful: mental rehearsal. Neuroscience shows that when you vividly imagine something with sensory detail and emotional richness, your brain fires the same neural pathways as if it were happening in reality. Your body responds. Your field shifts. This is why Olympic athletes mentally rehearse their routines. Why world-class performers visualize their success long before it arrives. They are programming their subconscious with the language it understands, experience, and you can do the same. Every time you imagine yourself speaking with confidence, living with peace, receiving with ease, and you truly feel it as real, you are placing a new order in the quantum field. One that bypasses the conscious mind and imprints directly onto the subconscious. One that starts broadcasting a new signal into reality. But here's the key. Repetition matters. The subconscious does not shift because you had one good meditation. It shifts when a new vibration is installed consistently, until it becomes your default state. That's why morning rituals matter. Why the last thoughts before sleep matter. Why the conversations you keep, the content you consume, even the environments you place yourself in. All of it matters. Each element becomes raw material for the subconscious to build what it considers normal. And once it accepts a new normal, the quantum field complies without resistance. This is why those who truly transform don't just behave differently. They feel different. They carry themselves differently. Their very presence signals coherence instead of fear. Their subconscious no longer projects scarcity. It projects wholeness, alignment, and clarity. And here's the most empowering truth. You don't have to wait for your external world to change before reprogramming the inner projector. You begin now, because the moment your subconscious shifts, reality has no choice but to follow. If this feels overwhelming, remember this: small hinges move big doors. You don't have to overhaul your life in one day. Start with just a few minutes. Close your eyes. Breathe. Step into the version of yourself who already lives your desire. Let your nervous system feel it. Let your body believe it. Let it saturate your inner world. Do this with consistency, not force, but reverence. And watch as your outer reality slowly rearranges itself to mirror your new inner code. So let this be your declaration. My subconscious is tuning in, not asking, not waiting, becoming. Because in the quantum field, alignment doesn't take time, it takes identity. And in the next few minutes, we'll explore one of the most profound truths of all, that time itself is not the rigid prison you've been taught it is, and that by shifting your frequency, you can leap into new timelines where the version of you who already has everything you desire is waiting. Now pause and consider, if everything in your life transformed tomorrow, your relationships, your finances, your body, your peace of mind, would it truly take years? Or could it all begin with one aligned decision? Here lies a truth the quantum world has always known. Time is not what you've been taught to believe. We grow up convinced that life moves in a straight line. Past behind us, present beneath us, future waiting ahead. Cause followed by effect, work followed by reward. But in the quantum field, the rules dissolve. Every version of you already exists, simultaneously alive, simultaneously possible. And what we call time, it's not a law, it's a lens. Picture it like this. Your life is less like a road and more like an endless library. Each book is a version of you, one who thrived, one who gave up, one who healed, one who stayed the same. All the volumes are already written. All the shelves are already filled. The only thing that matters is which book you take down, which story you choose to read with the light of your awareness. In other words, you don't walk through time. Time walks through you. That's why shifting timelines is not science fiction. It's resonance. When you change your frequency, your identity, your emotional baseline, you're not just altering habits. You're sliding into a different book, one filled with different characters, circumstances, and opportunities. And here's what makes it powerful. You don't earn your way into a better story. You match it, you tune into it. That looks like carrying yourself as the future you today. It looks like making choices from the reality you want, not for the reality you fear. It means asking with every decision, how would the version of me who already has this think, feel, speak, act? The more you embody those answers, the stronger your signal becomes. You begin to emit a new electromagnetic signature, one no longer bound to the echoes of your past, but anchored in the coordinates of your chosen timeline. And when you do, that timeline doesn't wait politely at a distance. It begins to fold into your present moment, not because you forced it into being, but because you became a vibrational equal to it. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending your struggles don't exist. It's about energetic accuracy. The self who already lives your dream life isn't paralyzed by fear. They aren't waiting for permission to feel worthy. They don't demand proof before they trust. They move with clarity, with steadiness, with ease. And the field reflects that identity instantly because quantum time is nonlinear. One aligned choice can unravel years of delay and ignite everything at once. So how do you step into this practically? Begin each morning with a timeline command. Before reaching for your phone, before replaying yesterday's story, speak directly to the field. Today, I enter the version of reality where things unfold with grace. Today, I walk in the timeline where freedom is natural. Don't just say it, feel it for 30 seconds. That moment alone is enough to shift direction. Will your outer world snap instantly into place? Sometimes, but often there's a recalibration, a brief lag as reality rearranges itself around your new coordinates. This is where most people falter. They choose a new frequency, then abandon it when the old evidence lingers. But if you can remain coherent, if you can hold the vibration before the proof appears, you'll collapse a new timeline far faster than you think possible. And the truth is, you've already done this many times. You just didn't realize it. That unexpected phone call that changed everything. That chance meeting that rerouted your entire path. That one decision that seemed small at the time, but altered your life forever. Those weren't random events. They were timeline jumps. Those moments when everything shifted in your life. They weren't luck. They were alignment. And here's the truth, you can do it again. This time deliberately with awareness. In the next few minutes, we're going to uncover something most people never recognize. The early signs that your manifestation is already unfolding, long before it takes physical form. These aren't random accidents. They're confirmations from the field itself, evidence that your frequency has been registered. And once you learn how to listen, you'll realize the universe is constantly communicating with you. Here's the paradox. The most important part of manifestation often happens in silence. Right before the visible change, when nothing seems different, the shift is already underway. But most people miss it. Why? Because we've been conditioned to trust only the tangible, to believe it only when the money shows up, when the text arrives, when the door swings open. But the quantum field doesn't play by those rules. It responds to vibration, not verification. It moves with energy, not evidence. So how do you know, truly know, that your manifestation is on its way? You feel it in your energy field first. Subtle signals, faint echoes, quiet whispers appear before reality has time to rearrange. The problem is, they're so delicate that most people dismiss them. But those who master conscious creation, they recognize the language of the field. They lean in. And once you notice them, they're impossible to deny. One of the clearest signals is synchronicity. You think of someone, and they call you. You speak a desire out loud, and the very same phrase shows up in a song, a headline, or a stranger's conversation. You decide to take a leap, and an unexpected opportunity lands at your feet within days. These aren't coincidences. They're coherence. The field is mirroring your inner upgrade before it crystallizes in physical form. It's not a hint of possibility, it's a preview of inevitability. Another signal is more surprising. Emotional neutrality around what you once craved with intensity. Many people expect desire to feel electric right up until the finish line, but the closer your manifestation approaches, the calmer you become. Why? Because your system no longer perceives separation between you and the thing you asked for. It already feels natural. It already feels yours. That calmness is not apathy, it's resonance. The old urgency fades. That restless craving softens into calm certainty. You don't hope anymore. You know. And that knowing changes the way reality responds to you. But remember this, the signs you notice are not replacements for alignment. They are reflections of it. If you chase them, the signal collapses. But if you observe with neutrality, grateful, aware, centered, you hold the frequency that makes them multiply. Sometimes those signals arrive as synchronicities, the right words at the right moment, a message from someone you were just thinking about, a door opening the very week you chose a new direction. Sometimes they arrive through dreams, repeated symbols, inner whispers that bypass logic but feel undeniable. And yes, sometimes they show up as discomfort, old friendships drifting, habits cracking, stability suddenly feeling too heavy to bear. That isn't sabotage, that's space making. The quantum field is clearing out what no longer matches your frequency so the new can flow in with precision. And here's the twist. What you ask for often doesn't appear in the form you imagine. You ask for freedom, and it comes as endings that finally unchain you. You ask for abundance, and it starts as a spark of creativity, an idea that pulls you forward. You ask for love, and it comes not as someone filling your emptiness, but as you becoming whole enough to meet love without need. The field never withholds, it reroutes, and the path is rarely linear. So if you're here, listening to this, it's not coincidence, it's coherence. Resonance brought you here. You wouldn't be tuned to these words if you weren't already shifting. You are not preparing anymore. You are activating, and now you get to choose moment by moment. Do you return to the old frequency, the one that felt familiar but limited? Or do you hold steady in the vibration of your next reality, even before the evidence appears? That choice, repeated with faith and feeling, is the lever that bends timelines. The field doesn't respond to begging, forcing, or waiting. It responds to being, to identity, to the energy you carry when no one's watching. That's what's broadcasting 24/7, shaping your tomorrow. So don't wait until your reality changes to shift your frequency. Shift now and let reality catch up, because you're not far. You are one decision, one breath, one aligned thought away from everything changing. Not because magic will drop something into your lap, but because resonance is law. When you match the frequency of what you've asked for, the field has no choice but to rearrange around you. So walk forward not with fear, but with frequency. Not with desperation, but with identity. The future you're asking for already exists. It's waiting for you to step into it. And if these words found you today, take it as your sign. You are ready. You are already shifting. Stay with this energy, stay with this alignment, and watch how quickly your reality begins to reflect who you finally allowed yourself to become. So walk forward not with fear, but with frequency. Not with desperation, but with identity. The future you're asking for already exists. It's waiting for you to step into it. And if these words found you today, take it as your sign. You are ready. You are already shifting. Stay with this energy, stay with this alignment, and watch how quickly your reality begins to reflect who you finally allowed yourself to become. If this message resonated with you, stay close. This space is here to remind you of who you truly are and what you're capable of. Follow along, and let's keep walking this quantum path together.